Hey guys, welcome back to Glam Finds, and I'm here with a very extravagant fragrance from the house of Lattafa. It's Lattafa Afeef. And as you can tell, this bottle, the bottle itself is pretty average. It's kind of like this plastic tan with some plastic gold on it. But the cap is 2 peacocks, and it is completely bedazzled, and it's, you know, it's got a little heft to it. It kind of has like a boomerang feel. But on top of that, the presentation it comes in is this guy right here. It's a pretty big box, and it's like a magnetic enclosure. It has like peacock stuff on it. It opens like this, and it sits right there. But as you can tell, the box took up most of the screen. So anyway, let's go ahead and go over the notes, and we'll talk about it. You have notes. You have top notes of bergamot, pink pepper, peach, mid notes of jasmine, orange flower, and tuberose, and base notes of sandalwood, amber, praline, and patchouli. As you probably noticed, there's tuberose and sandalwood, which to me typically signifies it's going to be a fairly creamy fragrance, but it has some fruitiness to it. And you're gonna smell the pink pepper in here. It's definitely, you know, peach prominent, but on my skin, I feel like the sandalwood and the tuberose are both very pronounced. Sandalwood more than the tuberose. And on my skin, I feel like it does come off creamy, and it's got a really nice peachiness to it. And again, the pink pepper is really nice in here. It's not as loud as it has been in maybe other fragrances, but you're definitely going to get it. On skin though, again, I get more tuberose and sandalwood with a little bit of that peachiness. Those are the main things. I don't really get a ton of praline. I think there's just that note sweetening it up. But yeah, what they use for sandalwood in here, I feel like I'm gonna try to make it make sense. So I think what they're using for sandalwood in here is a fixative. So this is actually a really loud fragrance that I tend to go noseblind to way before it comes off of my skin. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more when it comes to performance. But for this, if you're looking for something that I think you really need to be looking for the white florals and the sandalwood as more prominent notes in your fragrance, you're really going to like this. That peachiness pretty much stays throughout. But it kind of, those 3 notes are the ones, in my opinion, or off of my skin specifically, come off the loudest. The bergamot kind of gets, I feel like bergamot's in everything, but you can't smell it in everything. Yeah, these are the notes you're going to smell the most. Tuberose, sandalwood, and peach. And it stays consistently like that for the wearing experience for me. Let's go ahead and talk about the performance. So I went noseblind to this fairly quickly, but I think like more than 6 hours later, I was told that it still smelled pretty strong. And then actually when I got home, I was still wearing it, which gives you the idea that's a 10-hour workday and it's still going pretty hard on my skin. It wasn't too strong, like, you know, at the 6-hour mark, it wasn't like in your face strong, but it was still very present. So performance, I think you get really good projection off of this one. Definitely great longevity. Again, I got more than a 10-hour workday. In terms of sillage, the sillage is definitely very present. So for me, this is a well above average performer. In fact, I think some would say it borders on beast mode, especially for what it is. In terms of who it's for. So initially on my first spray, I was just like, oh, you know, I feel like it's pretty unisex, in my opinion. The peach kind of makes it lean feminine, but after kind of letting it dry down on skin, I do feel like this is definitely a more feminine fragrance. I'm not saying guys can't rock it, absolutely. But the peach does kind of give it that feminine lean. And on top of that, because, you know, I want to talk about who this is for, I think this should be a slightly more mature woman. I don't know if I can see someone, you know, under 25 pulling this off. It's you know, it's the way that the sandalwood and the tuberose mix. I don't know. In my opinion, 25 plus. In fact, like, I don't think that this is for everyone. This is for somebody who is a little bit more of that person with more of a luxurious feel, maybe a boss. This is not as playful as the peach would make you think. For me, this has more boss vibes. You can completely disagree with me, that's fine. But upon first spray, you know, when that peach is more prominent, I was just like, oh, this is really cool. I think anyone can wear it. But once it starts drying down and the tuberose and the sandalwood become more prominent, again, your skin could be different. I think that this is a 25 plus fragrance. And it kind of feels like a more bold woman would be rocking this. Not someone who's necessarily a wallflower. But in the first like 10 to 30 minutes, I think it's a little different. It just feels like really fun and playful. Essentially, this gives off, rather than pretty vibes, it's more like beautiful and bold vibes. And that's, of course, my opinion. Yeah. If you're going to ask me if I like it, yeah, I actually really do like it. I think that they made a statement with this. At first I was like, oh, what does this smell like? But I don't know. I think that this might just be its own fragrance, and they did a really good job. I really enjoy sandalwood. I really enjoy tuberose. I think together they make a great combination, especially like when you add orange flower. I think that this is going to be a really easy reach for a lot of people out there, especially if you're just looking for something that is, again, it's a kind of fun wear, but it like kind of has this boldness to it that I think a lot of people are going to enjoy. In terms of where you can wear it, I would absolutely wear this to work. I think it's a really good work fragrance. I would honestly say I'd wear it anywhere. To me, it's more of a spring through fall fragrance, not necessarily something I think I would reach for in the winter. But for spring through fall, I think this is going to rock. It's got notes for all three of those seasons. I don't think it's going to be too cloying in summer. I would probably wear a little less of it in the summer because, again, whatever fixative they're using in that sandalwood, I believe is pretty strong. At least it was off of me. Anything that makes me nose blind has to be fairly strong. I mean, I wasn't even spraying in my nasal passage area, and it seemed like it was a pretty strong fragrance. And in terms of compliments, I think that in the right setting, this has compliment getting DNA. I think it's appropriate for work. It may get you compliments. I think it just depends on your audience and what they like. When I wear gourmands, I get the most compliments at work. That's like something that I found out over the last year. I was never a gourmand person, but then I wore a couple and they're like, oh, whatever that is, it smells really good. And I was like, interesting. So it really just depends on your surroundings. So yeah, I definitely think it has compliment getting DNA, especially if you rock it with the right outfit, which again, I wouldn't dress it down too much. You totally could, but I think that this goes with like something a little bit nicer. You can wear it to a nice dinner. So like something you'd wear to that, a nice lunch, just something a little cute. And then price point. So I got this for about the $50 mark at fragrancepie.ca. I think it is more expensive than that on other sites, but I'll try to link it at 2 sites because I know a lot of you guys don't like to pay the shipping. I'm going to link it at fragrancepie.ca, but if I find it anywhere else, I'll link it down below. If you have tried this, comment down below. Again, it's a really extravagant bottle, and I think the fragrance profile is going to do really well for some people, but again, it does lean feminine and it does have a slightly more mature vibe to me. As always, remember to like this video. If you liked it, be subscribed to my channel. Hit that notification bell to get notified when I drop another video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!